welcome back to Game-Rave TV. Today is actually a special day, if only be in observation, because it happened a couple days ago. Game-Rave.com and Game-Rave TV here on YouTube officially each got their 200,000th view. And I say that with an asterisk because for Game-Rave.com, that means it was its 200,000th view since becoming a WordPress site, which is about 4 years old. The original site was HTML based, and I didn't have any type of know-how or what would you for tracking stuff like that, so who knows what the real account is, but it is what it is. On YouTube, it's kind of bittersweet. I forgot I had an old Game-Rave account, and the videos on there are only 6 of them. It was for like NBA 2-Ball, Spider-Man, 9/11, etc. I had used to be embedded videos on the HTML version of Game-Rave.com, and those 6 videos alone had 200,000 views compared to the same 200,000 views of my current YouTube channel with, say, about 250 videos. So clearly missed opportunity there for, almost 500,000 views, but lesson learned, we're all good. To celebrate the milestones, I wanted to have a little bit of fun and go unscripted, and I asked my Patreon folk what they would like to see as far as content goes for celebrating the anniversary, and instead of picking one of the best and so forth, I just went with them all, and there are actually 3 of them that I'd like to cover for this video today. So that being said, we will go in reverse order. From Alan, a time-lapse video of you tearing your game room apart in a fruitless search for your Mass Effect case and copy of ODST, set to Yakety Sax. For those who don't follow me on Twitter, and for that degree, Patreon, 4 years after moving into the condo, I still can't find my copy of Mass Effect 1 or my copy of Halo ODST. Now, ODST is still missing, but it turns out that my copy of Mass Effect may not have been missing. It turns out I may have only had the one copy that I, at the time, lent to Becky, my fiance, to see if she would like the series or not, so I didn't waste $20 buying her a copy of a game she wasn't going to like. Side note, she loves it. So in reality, if that were the case, that means the copy of Mass Effect I've been looking for has been essentially 7 feet away from me in the living room this entire time. I'm still missing ODST, so here you go. Alright, next up, Cyberdemon 531. For a more personal thing, maybe a history of games you played, like the PS1 games you played in order of when you played them, to the best of your memory. Oh, man. Well, if we're going all the way back, I bought my PlayStation system when Street Fighter Alpha was supposed to have been out, and I mean Alpha 1, back in 1996. And I had $400 saved up, went to go get the system and the memory card and the game, and I was like, you know what, I can't wait, I'll get the system early and then pick up the game later just so I could have, everything ready to go. I ended up buying my PlayStation from Gamers Paradise in the Chicago Ridge Mall in Illinois, in Chicago Ridge, obviously. And I buckled it into the passenger seat of my car, literally held it like a pregnant wife, just being, it's okay, baby, it's okay, it's going to be good, we're going to get home. Got everything set up. So technically the first game I ever played was the demo discs of the purple PlayStation picks that was inside the box, and then the developers demo, the Hear It Now, Play It Later demo that I got from a friend's older brother. Went to go buy Alpha on its release day and found out it was delayed a week and a half. So for another week and a half, I literally did nothing but play the Wipeout 1-track demo on PlayStation Pro Picks and just keep messing around with the dinosaur on the Hear It Now, Play It Later. The day Alpha 1 came out, I was on my way home from school to get home, quickly get dressed and refreshed and run to work. And I stopped by a Chicago Ridge Mall again, this time into the Elbows, or as it used to be called, Electronics Boutique, because it wasn't EB Games yet at the time. and plopped down my last $60 to get Street Fighter Alpha. Got home, had just enough time to literally play one round with loading time, turn it off, go to work, worked the 5 hours thinking nothing but Street Fighter all night. Got home, ended up playing Street Fighter Alpha until like 3 or 4 in the morning, only to wake up at like 7 a.m. to go back to school. From there, I believe my next 2 games were from my mom as a Valentine's Day gift, which would have been NBA Jam Tournament Edition and Space Griffin VF9. NBA Jam, obviously everyone knows what that is. Space Griffin VF9, if you've never heard of it or never played it, it was probably my first ever true guilty pleasure. Like, I believe games like Sewer Shark and Night Trap on the Sega CD are like genuine articles. Like, they're really good games. They're not a guilty pleasure. Space Griffin VF9 was definitely a guilty pleasure. For those who've never played it, imagine if you took the Valkyrie mech from Robotech / Macross, based on, which half the island, half of the sea, you believe, in. But instead of turning into a jet, the robot went into its Jaywalk mode and then turned into a car. And this mech was inside a corridor underground laboratory, like a Khalid the DNA Imperative or a Robotica if you're on the Saturn. And you basically had to figure out why the computer Hamlet was going nuts, just making all these creatures and making the robots crazy and blah, blah, blah. Everything about that game was bad. The voice acting was awful. The texture warping was awful. There was like maybe 10 textures total in the whole game. The control was stiff, but god damn, I loved it. It might be because I only had 3 games at the time, and there was only so much Street Fighter or NBA Jam you could play until you just needed something else. But I loved that game. In fact, I loved it so much I almost bought it when it was remastered on the Dreamcast and the Japanese side years ago, but never ended up doing it. Fun fact, I have a Saturn and Dreamcast that are both modded to play Japanese games and don't own any Japanese games for them because, obviously. Past that, I know Viewpoint I bought and sold probably like a week or 2 weeks after I bought it because it was just so freaking hard. I think I ended up just game sharking like invincibility and quite literally just walking the ship through the game and beating it and being done with it. I remember buying Ridge Racer from the old high score microplay in Oak Lawn, Illinois, where I would eventually end up working after the fact. And that game needs no commentary. Like, Ridge Racer, just, God, I fell in love with that game like more than I should have. I'm really depressed that it's kind of fallen off to the wayside. Even when it was just a system launch tech demo, I still loved every minute of it. What's weird is after Ridge Racer, I don't really have a memory of like what the next game I bought was. The next game I can clearly remember actually buying was Mortal Kombat Trilogy. But that would mean there was like a year and a half of me not buying games, and I know that's not real. I honestly can't remember if I owned Raiden Project at that time. I know I played a lot of games at my friend Alan's house. He had like Rayman. We had rented Street Fighter the movie. We rented Ace Combat 1, which was still phenomenal to this day. God, what else was there? Just a random memory. I remember it was me, him, and a couple other of our friends, and we were in his basement, and I had thrown in the tech demo with the dinosaur and stuff to check out. And I don't know if it's just because we were so tired from all the shit we had did that day, or maybe it was just too much junk food. I don't remember if we were drinking or not. But I remember us playing the demo on the Hear It Now, Play It Later, where it was like the square diamond shapes just like radiating out at you. And we just zoned out like it was a drug. Like, I think it was a good like 20 minutes had passed of us just staring, just tuning out the world and everything. But yeah, so that would do it for like the first early days of my PlayStation gaming. I really, to be honest, all of it's just a blur now because of all the games I had to review and talk about and editorialize for Game-Rave fanzine at the time. I really don't remember the actual personal purchases anymore past Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I I think Final Fantasy Tactics was in there, quote unquote. A lot of my PlayStation games at the time were imported because I actually had the system modified to play Japanese games. And so, like, I never really played the American versions of Final Fantasy 7 or 8, or like Bushido Blade, because I had already played them on the import side, months to a year earlier. But yeah, that's about it. Like, that's such a good question. Like, I haven't thought about that in 25 years. All right, and lastly, Arvid A. How about doing a hidden gems video? Smiley face. Fine. And that does it for us, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I'm not really big on views and subs as far as like daily activity, so you probably won't have another video like this celebrating a milestone until it's like the 500,000 mark on both website and YouTube, which means probably sometime in the year 2030. As always, stay safe, be cool. The weather is ridiculous. I will hopefully see you on a real, actual episode of Pause Mode in 2 weeks after the abysmal, God, the problems. Oh, I won't go into it. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys, for reading the website. Thank you so much for watching here on YouTube. As always, subscribe, ding the bell to make sure you get the alerts. Tell your friends, share the videos, share the website link, and as always, be safe. I'll see you next video.